Now, let's turn to a very important story from Bangladesh, because we have reports that we're not able to confirm that a 14-year-old has lost his life while working, a 13-year-old has lost his life while working in a factory after it appears he was assaulted with a high-pressure hose. Now, we know the incident took place in Dhaka. We're going to hear more about the specifics of that case in a moment, but bear in mind that it's illegal for anyone under the age of 14 to work in Bangladesh. But if you look at this survey released in the last few days by the Overseas Development Institute, well, it gives us a whole range of information about children working in Bangladesh. Two statistics that we've pulled out. One is that children working in Bangladesh work on average a 64-hour week, and also that 2/3 of girls who are working in Bangladesh are doing so in clothing factories. Next, I want to play you a part of an interview by BBC Bangla with the head of the UN's International Labour Organization on just this issue.
The government must do its work to reach those smaller, more difficult to get to operators. But of course, the buyers required also to make sure that their supply chains are clean of child labour.
Mahfuz Sadique was the BBC's correspondent in Bangladesh. He's now based here in the BBC Newsroom. This is an awful story. What can we say with certainty about what's happened?
Well, we do know that this incident happened in the capital, and it was in a spinning factory. And these events, while the details are yet to emerge clearly, this has been happening for the last few months. There have been several incidents, gruesome situations where children and teenagers well under the age when they shouldn't be working at all have reached this fate where they've died in very horrible industrial situations.
With the broader issue of child labour, the government's supposed to be dealing with this, isn't it?
Yes, the government actually, this is interesting to put it into an historical context. Bangladesh, in the 90s, when the garment industry as well as overall Bangladesh was on a growth path, the US had put a considerable force actually to stop child labor. And there was a Child Labor Deterrence Act in the US, in the US House. And in 1 year, 75% of child labor was stopped in Bangladesh garment industry. But as the industry has grown, and overall as the economy has grown, so I think there is a mismatch between the government enforcing all these acts and laws that they are signing up to and the enforcement of that.
Where do the big brands fit into this? Do they also have the power to apply pressure?
I think a lot of the big brands have work with established manufacturers in Bangladesh where it's much more higher standards and they don't employ child labor. But at the same time, as you go down the supply chain, as the growth of the industry, you have a situation where there are much more shady factories which are not within the official purview, and inspectors don't reach these places. That's where the problem lies. And this incident and other incidents such as these have actually happened in places where the government or other inspecting has not reached.
Okay, Mahfuz, thank you very much indeed.